With Rob Lewis, Brent Hubbs, VolQuest.com. A little fast break. Tennessee beats Vanderbilt 81-61. Hard to believe Tennessee, Rob, trailed in this game by nearly 6 minutes, but the Volunteers cruised and were in complete control, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, the first 12 or 13 minutes was maybe as kind of poorly as I've seen them play outside of the start of the second half against Alabama, and didn't really feel like they were going to have it, and kind of got really hot to close the first half. Went on a 16-3 run to really kind of gain the upper hand, and then just absolutely put Vandy away in the second half with that spurt. Vandy cut it to, I guess it was 41-37. Hit a couple threes, and felt like maybe it was going to get tight. And then Tennessee, they were 2 of 7 from three in the first half. They had 5 3-pointers in 4.5 minutes, and boom, it's over.
Interesting with this team. Keon Johnson leads the way with 16 points, and you don't want to make too much out of one game. But I thought clearly in watching his body language and demeanor on TV, he had a little more intensity about him this game. I don't know if this game was more personal to him because Vanderbilt, and being in the mid-state or what, but he had a different edge about him, I thought, tonight. And I thought it showed up on both ends of the floor, particularly with his offensive aggressiveness to the rim.
Yeah, I think we've seen it, or at least I felt like I've seen that from him all year on defense. I thought he was way more confident on offense tonight and in control, like knew when to go, knew when to be aggressive. And he was 4 of 8 from the field. Hit the only 3-pointer he took, which same story last week at Texas A&M. He started off slow there. He's 2 for 2 in his last 2 games. And I thought, Scottie Pippen Jr. got 18 points, but I'd like to see a breakdown of how many of those he got when Keon was guarding him, because I thought Keon was really, really giving him trouble when he was on him.
Yeah, certainly. I thought he played well. Springer, again, I thought played a nice, complete game. 5 assists, 7 rebounds. He did turn it over a couple of times, but again, in control. Both those guys, Johnson and Springer, have been good players all year long, but it feels like, Rob, they're getting a much better feel for Rick Barnes' offense. Now, this offense still had too many lulls for me, and I'm probably hypercritical because I think they're really good. But I thought both those guys had a really nice pace on the offensive end of the floor tonight.
Yeah, and I think the coaching staff is expected to see that kind of trajectory that we're seeing from both of them. Rick said all along that those 2 kids were the ones that were hurt the most by the 11-day layoff and having those early games canceled. And I completely agree with you. I think they are both getting more comfortable. I think that's starting to show up on the court and on the stat sheet. And I tell you, we like to talk about the freshmen, but I want to make sure we mention Fulkerson today. 15 points, 18 rebounds looks like a nice game when you just look at the box score, but he had a plus-minus of plus 33 in 27 minutes. That's pretty strong and tells you what he means to this team.
Yeah, I was going to mention him next. I thought, again, he showed quality leadership, but Tennessee's starting to get some better stuff at the rim, a little better action at the rim the last couple games with some slip screens and some different things like that. Again, it feels like the offensive flow, while not great for 40 minutes, feels like it's getting better. And again, 4 players in double figures and Fulkerson leading the way for a lot of that for Tennessee. As again, you mentioned a good game. Tennessee only turns it over 9 times. They get 20 points off turnovers. Rick Barnes will pick this film apart, Rob, but there was again a lot of consistency on the defensive end of the floor for this team.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, if they've done it before, I just don't remember. But I thought, we've seen that little 1-2-2 press quite a bit. They got aggressive with it tonight at midcourt, and really to good effect. Got a couple of turnovers. I know a jump ball one time in the second half. I think that was a new wrinkle, and I like they were trapping on the sidelines out of it, and I hadn't seen them use it as anything other than just to kind of milk some time off the shot clock.
Yeah, it certainly caused Vanderbilt some problems, and certainly in that run in the second half where, again, Victor Bailey with the 3 threes to really put a dagger in it and stretch that thing out, and Tennessee cruises to an 81-61 win. We'll have full coverage of the Vols win over Vanderbilt throughout the evening at VolQuest.com. That's going to do it for this edition of Fast Break. For Rob Lewis, I'm Brent Hubbs. Thanks for joining us.